Between the years of 1800 and 1830, there was a rapid growth in population in and around the New York City area. In New York, it grew from 60,000 to 200,000 people. Due to this increase, there were new epidemics linked to impure water. There was also an increase in fire, and water availability became an issue.
Around New York City, there was no real source of fresh water. Most people depended on wells or rainwater, which were easily contaminated because of the amount of people in the city.
As a result, the Manhattan Water Company was chartered in 1799. They constructed a reservoir to supply 400 families with groundwater, which was very little and still not enough.
The city was devastated by fire in 1828, and then again in 1835, and then there was a cholera outbreak in 1832. Colonel DeWitt Clinton Jr., an engineer, came on the scene and had a very good idea of tapping the Croton River. This would supply 20 million gallons per day of pure water.
The Croton River project used construction of facilities unprecedented since the Roman Empire. Construction of the Croton River project began in 1837. The project details included a masonry dam, which was 50 feet and 270 feet long, a reservoir with a surface area of 440 acres and that could store 600 million gallons of water, a 40-mile masonry aqueduct with cross-sections of 7 by 8 feet, included a 1,450 feet long high bridge to convey the aqueduct across the Harding River. It also included a 4-acre masonry walled distributing reservoir, which is now on the site of the New York Public Library at 5th Avenue and 42nd Street. Water first arrived in Manhattan on July 4, 1842. A celebration soon followed after.
The city started to realize they needed to expand the Croton system in 1870 because that's when the population was crossed a million. A new aqueduct was opened in 1892 and a new dam was completed in 1905. This dam completely submerged the old dam, and then smaller dams were built by 1911. Now the present-day Croton River system is in place, which provides 336 million gallons per day, which is more than the entire supply to Boston.
In 1905, the state legislature established the Board of Water Supply, which after careful study identified the Catskill region as an additional water source. This board planned and constructed facilities in 4 watersheds in what would come to be known as the Catskill water system. This included the Ashokan Reservoir and the Catskill Aqueduct, which were completed in 1915. Between 1907 and 1929, the city acquired water rights and constructed the Scollary and Ashokan reservoirs in the Catskill Mountains. A new 92-mile Catskill Aqueduct conveyed water from Ashokan to the city, crossing under the Hudson River.
The Catskill system also included the construction of the Kenisko and Hillview reservoirs just north of the city, in City Tunnel No. 1, and the terminal Silver Lake Reservoir on Staten Island. This feat was repeated in the 1940s when the city reached out to the headwaters of the Delaware River over 100 miles away.
95% of the water flow is due to gravity in the aqueduct and 5% is pumped. The water flows downhill and can take 12 weeks to a year for water to make its way down to the city.
Starting to show its age, the city plans to spend $3.4 billion in repairs over the next 5 years. This includes a new tunnel to bypass one of the current ducts, the Delaware Aqueduct, which is leaking 35.4 million gallons of water a day. The leaks were noticed when a pond appeared in an area that was previously dry in the town of Newborough in New Jersey. They then sent an underwater automated vehicle to investigate the leak, and it ended up finding 2 different leaks. These were caused because during the construction, the aqueduct passed through places with poor quality rock, so as reinforcement they put a steel liner in place, but at the ends of the liner is where small cracks can be found.
Work on the bypass tunnel began on September 8, 2017, and continued for 24 hours a day, 5 days a week for the next 20 months. The Delaware Aqueduct will still be in use until the bypass tunnel is completed, and then the Delaware Aqueduct will shut down for 6 months in October of 2022 until expected completion in 2023. In 2018, the DEP announced it has decided to spend $158 million to rehabilitate the Catskills Aqueduct. The DEP will rehabilitate the aqueduct section that connects from Ashokan Reservoir to the Kenisko Reservoir. The DEP will shut down the Catskills Aqueduct for 10 weeks annually in 2018 to 2020 to clean up the aqueduct and repair leaks along with other upgrades.
The New York Aqueduct is known as one of the most notable engineering projects ever and is envied by other cities worldwide. Now New York is recognized for its very amazing tasty water.